Hi there and welcome back to Japan, where I'm going to be doing my reaction and review to 19 Summer Note by Silent Siren. It's really nice when you actually have the poster for the specific song. So, as is now the norm, given that we've had to change the format of this YouTube channel, if you want to check out the reaction, for copyright reasons, there is a link in the description below which will take you to a player which will show you the reaction, and then come back to this video where I'm about to do the review. So I'm going to give you a second to pause this, and go and check out the reaction. Have you checked out the reaction? There's a link in the description below. Check it out. Have you checked it out? Have you done it? Have you checked it out? Is it done? Can I do the review? Okay, I'm going to do the review. Yeah. That was creepy. Well, the video was creepy. The song, I really like the song. I'm looking forward to hearing that more because, like with most Silent Siren songs, I enjoy them. I do think this is one of those ones that's going to grow on me with time. I do think that's just a really good fun song, though. So let's cover a few of the points about this one. Now, before I get into the video, which I am going to get into the video, let's talk about the song. The song was actually really hard to sort of pin down on one listen. This is one of those ones where I think about 2 listens, maybe 3 would give you, I think 2 listens would be enough to give you a good idea of what's really going on. Because it goes through a lot of phases and changes quite quickly. Now, it basically is working on your sort of verse, chorus, bridge, chorus formation. It's so swift. It's so nimble on its feet about changing up how it goes. I mean, even the like the verses and choruses are broken into these little call and answer things where you have the da, 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 19, and all that kind of stuff going on. That's not the actual way they sing it. It's just me trying to achieve that pitch. So, yeah, the whole feeling of the song is that it's very nimble. It never feels like it gets muddied down or stuck in one place too long, which is really to its credit. I think that sometimes with Silent Siren, on some, not on most of their songs actually this isn't the case, but on some of their songs, some of their album tracks especially, you get the feeling that they get into a bit of a groove, and sometimes they don't switch things up as much as they have the talent to do. That's probably one of the few criticisms I have of them. This is the example of when they go to the polar opposite and really prove that they can do that. They can do something so nimble on its feet. And this reminds me actually a lot of their most recent song, the something, whoa, that song, in that it's so nimble on its feet. So anyway, to cover that point, you got the all these little sections like the guitar riff, which, like everything else, got more and more stuck in my head as it went on. You got the verse, you got a pre-chorus, you got a little chorus which is very simple, and the bridge as well. So many sections. Really, it's hard to talk about them individually because what more works is as a whole, the way they work together. Now, all of them seem to have this quality that they are very much about, like I say, keeping nimble, keeping you on your toes. You never get sort of a long protracted section where it's just melody. There tends to be the feeling that it's bouncing, different sounds. The keyboard will come to the front, or, the guitar will come a little bit more to the front when it's doing the riff. Sometimes the vocals will be call and answer. Sometimes they won't be. Sometimes the melody will be very quick. Sometimes it's a little bit slower. It's that whole feeling that the overall arrangement, if you're just looking at it as how it sounds sonically from a production element, yeah, there's nothing original. It's all of your normal pop rock sounds. It's a sort of jangly guitar, bass is in a sort of nice low mid-range, drums are rocking along, you've got a keyboard which is kind of low in the mix but is giving a bit of sparkly sounds to everything. It's more the way that all of the sounds are used and they balance around each other. Kind of like what I often said about Wagaki Band, actually. In that the sounds seem to like move around each other. There's this feeling that rather than it just being everything static, everything sort of moving to the fore, moving back, moving around. And so it's hard to explain, but it is that feeling that everything here is, like I say, as I've kind of been waffling about now for the last 4 or 5 minutes, is kind of very kinetic. It takes a very simple formula and really sort of moves your ears' attention around to different places very well. So overall, the feeling is great. I love the feeling. It feels really sort of fresh, summery, upbeat, as they're often so good at doing in their more poppy singles. It's really good at that. It is definitely going to be a nasty little earworm that I'm going to have trouble getting out of my head, especially that 1919 bit. The whoa-whoas were enough, but the 1919, dear God, I'm not going to be able to get that out of my head for a while. The drum beat as well, I think that was quite nicely executed. Sometimes I have said that they have a habit of falling into doing, shall we say, slightly drum beats, that little disco shuffle, the kick, hat, snare, hat, kick, hat, snare, hat thing. That tends to come up in a lot of their songs. However, this did feel quite fresh. It felt like the drums were good at accenting all the changes whilst also keeping a solid beat underneath. I liked what was being done on the bass guitar. Ainyan had a really good sort of grasp of giving everything a bit of funk. There was some octave work where the bass was going sort of low, high, bouncing between low and high notes very quickly. This was sort of a nice, simple way of keeping things sort of bouncing along. The keyboard work was really nice as well. Like I said, it's kind of low in the mix for the best part, but occasionally jumping forward like that one note, bing, just suddenly flies to the front of the mix. That was nicely done as well. In the solo, I felt that the sound that she was using for the keyboard solo was maybe a little bit coarse. It maybe could have been something a little bit more, a little less sounding like a stylophone. However, it wasn't bad. I think that maybe was, for considering how good her choice of keyboard sounds usually are, that wasn't the best one. See, I did tell you, #no bias. I did tell you. And the lead vocals, obviously fantastic as always. She's really good. Sue's really good at keeping on top of the vocals, and sort of fast and slow vocals. She seems to always be really good at delivering the mood and bringing a lot of feeling into it. I always say this. A lot of people say that singers like Sue, who've got a more high pitched, maybe thinner voice, they always say, "Oh, that's not as good singing." I think when you have a voice like that, it's knowing how to use that sort of delicacy, the nimble nature of your voice, to get more feeling out of that in other ways. And I think she's very good at expressing emotion and feeling in her vocal deliveries. So yeah, I thought that was good. It was full of enjoy, very infectious. We have to talk about the video. I mean, I straight away, I did like the idea of, hey, let's just hire a random, interestingly architectured house somewhere in, I'm guessing, Los Angeles. Let's just hire this out. Looks good. Yeah, let's hire this house and we'll shoot a video there. That's probably how this particular image happened. Okay, fair enough. That was cool. I really liked how they did the band things. The camera moved well, like the way how the camera moved around the band. That was great. But that whole narrative bit, it felt like it was a different director, I've got to be honest. Or whether the director's just good with bands but isn't good with doing narrative. Because it was bad. And in a really awkward way, kind of cringy, like, oh, no. I mean, we have to start with the fact that, I don't want to disrespect an actor. I mean, that's not my particular field. I mean, I did actually do movie reviews a few years ago. So I did it, for a few years ago, I did some movie reviews, so maybe I can make some comment on this. I've got to say, though, his acting was pure creepy. Now, I don't know whether the director had said, I want you to look like you're going to kill her. I don't know if that's what the director said to her, but it did come across a little bit like this guy is... something's very wrong with this guy. His whole dead-eyed stare, hello... and then the director didn't make it any better by having him kind of creep on her as she walks past, and then sort of creep up to the cafe where she's just coming out of, she clearly finished whatever she was drinking in the cafe, and she's coming out, so she's had time to go in and order. Just everything between the actor and the director, they did everything to make that guy not only not sympathizable, if that's not a word, not sympathetic, but actually kind of disturbing. And then the bit as well where then he goes from his creepy, dreamy stare to when he's running, he becomes a little bit serious face. Thinking the director needs to take some time to maybe just look at human body language. This is not how people behave. I was wondering whether maybe it was a Japanese director who was trying to, because they're obviously working with Western actors, whether he was trying to maybe lampoon some of the expressions and things he'd seen in Western films or something. He or she, I don't know. However, just everything about that was purely creepy, didn't work. The little bits where it goes fast and slow didn't work either. Everything about the narrative section of the video was purely creepy, and the ending didn't help. It's like, oh, this is not I don't know who you are, and you've stolen someone's notebook to give to me. Let's be friends. No, that's not how human interaction works. It's not. Please. If you're a hermit and this is your first exposure to human interaction, no, don't do that. Just at the end of that video, I feel really bad for whoever was in the cafe, obviously working on doing manuscript music and drawing little cartoons and things, and then they come back to find their book has been stolen by some creep. That's my takeaway from the story of that video. However, the band performing bits were lovely. They're very well shot, very well filmed, and as always, the band really played up to the camera really nice and, brought a real sense of fun and infectiousness. And I think, I hope this is one of those videos, you get this sometimes with videos that have a narrative. The director will release another version of the video, which is just the band performance cuts without the narrative bit. I really hope that this video has a version like that, because God, it was creepy. So anyway, tell me what you think. Either way, I'm really interested to know what you guys think about both the video and the song. As always, we're big fans of Silent Siren here. I know they don't bring in as many views as other artists, but I'm going to be listening to all their songs, so I want you guys to join the journey with me. If it wasn't for this channel, I'd have probably gone through everything. I've already got all of their albums just sitting over there, so I'm really looking forward to going through all this stuff with you. But guys, as always, tell me what you think. Get in the comments. Like and subscribe is always really important. Remember, we've got our Discord, which is linked in the description below as well, where you can get involved in regular discussions about bands like Silent Siren and various other bands who we're talking all the time on there 24/7. As well as that, we got our Reddit, which is a good place to suggest new songs. What else we got? Our Patreon. Yes, thank you to our Patreon supporters for keeping this place alive, for supporting me enough that I can get a nice backdrop, including surprisingly apt posters. Anyway, thank you so much for making it through to the end of the video with me. I'm looking forward to seeing you very soon, hopefully, on the next video. And until then, for now, ciao, ciao.